Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to the audiences and the panels. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Nur Asma and I'll be your moderator for today's forum. Before we go deeper into our topic, let me introduce our incredible panels. Our first panel is Sir Encik Muhammad Irwan bin Azmi. Left to him is our second panel, which is Mr. Muklis bin Ahmad Sahiri. Our third panel is Cik Muhammad Fakrul Aslam bin Azman. And our last panel is Miss Nur Afrina Najiyah binti Azamuddin. So our topic that we're going to discuss today is quite interesting. And the title is The Influence and Impact of Gadgets on Early Childhood Development. The term gadgets refer to various electronic devices, not just mobile phones, tablets, and handheld games and more. Children today play with technology from a very young age, so it has no longer become a surprise in our community. Mr. Irwin, could you tell us some of the benefits in your thoughts that gadgets give in the benefits of gadgets to the childhood development?
Okay, thank you, Miss Asma, and that is such a good question. Okay, uh, for me, there are a lot of benefits of gadget for young children development. So I would like to give you three of my point, which is cognitive development. So what is cognitive development? It is uh, it is gadget provide a platform where children can engage in many ways such as in game or in apps. Uh, in that game, it may challenge the memory, problem solving, and decision making skill on children. So, um, puzzle strategy games, and even educational apps are the example of games that children can use to improve their self. Okay, so for my second point is it can improve language and speech development. So there is a lot of developer that create a children game so that it can improve children language. So I will take Omar Hana. So as we know, Omar Hana um, is children TV show that teach children about manner, about how to eat, how to wash your hand, and whatsoever. So uh, from that TV show, the developer make Omar Hana game so that children can interactive interacting with the game. So I will move to my my last point, which is improve hand-eye coordination. So why do I say it can improve hand-eye coordination? Is because there is uh, such a game that require children to touch a specific place on the screen. Um, not just that. Um, so yeah. So with that, it also will help improve their hand-eye coordination. Um, as children getting older, tasks that involve precise movement like tracing, drawing, or whatsoever or whatsoever. So it will be more easier for them in the future. Okay, so that is for my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iwan. What a point to start this forum. Next, let's move on to our second panel, which is Miss Afrina Najiha. So Miss Afrina, I would like to ask your opinion about the gadgets, and do you see gadgets as good tools to expose for early childhood development?
Thank you, Miss Asma, for that question. Well, for me, I think personally, using electronic devices can bring in some great benefits, like for your children's homework, online courses, and more. But allowing it in excess may lead to its own negative impacts. So, as a parent, we need to we need to limit our children using gadgets by our own time management. So here are some benefits that children can get from being exposed to gadgets. For children younger than 5, it helps as stimuli. It can be used to promote the ability to learn and even for speech. The visual representation of the young ones can be advantageous to increase their senses. For example, um, shows that shows that show, for example, the videos that show the ability to help them to learn how to say words and more. Other than that, games through gadgets promote cognitive learning and analytical skills. Uh, and this helps the children to increase their innovative thoughts, strategic thinking, and more to be creative and productive. Uh, by using this, it may result in improved status of learning the technology better and get more natural within the goal. Also, scientists say that the kids who are exposed to technologies have good eye coordination and quicker decision-making skills. Other than that, games that provide progress level gaming helps the child to be motivated. Moreover, it also develops the managing skill and well as the boost to achieve his goal in real life. For example, by creating a good game, it can enhance brain programming for children to think outside of the box. So this make them to think more in order to figure out how to success in that level. Well, that is all from me.
Thank you, Miss Afrina. I can understand that you say that gadgets provide a range of opportunities for learning and connections, but they can also lead to several concerning issues for children. Mr. Aslam, I would like to ask you some of the negative side in your own points, the negative sides of gadgets to the early childhood development.
All right. Thank you, Miss Asma, our moderator today. All right. As well know, of course, gadget have the positive and negative impacts towards our children or on early childhood development. But for me, um, one of the bad impact from gadget that we must to worry is addiction. Because according to the National Library of Medicine, gadget addiction among children is getting serious nowadays. As you can see, parents nowadays love to keep exposing gadget to their children from such a young age. even to the children under 5 years. For example, they give a gadget like phone, tablet, or iPad to their kids to make them distract from making noise, crying, or moody. However, uh, day by day, this habit can lead to the gadget addiction. The sad is gadget addiction can lead to many bad behaviors. For example, rebellious, lazy, disobey, uh, and lead to unhealthy food habits and poor health, and also poor time management. Uh, it is because when they keep playing the gadget a long day, they will continuously playing while eating snacks, lying down for a long period, and don't want to go outside to play with friends. So my advice for parents out there is please take Dr. Syaz Muzaffar Shukor, our first Malaysian astronaut, as a role model for parenting skill. As we can see on his Instagram, he shows he make timetable for his children about gadget usage. Um, about time management of gadget usage to prevent his children from overuse the gadget. Because this is because if parent didn't prevent their children from now from overuse the gadget, it also will affect their children academic. Then their children will fail in class because have no concentrate. So yeah, that's all from me for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pakar Aslam. As you say, gadgets itself can give children an addiction to gadgets, and it can impact their behavior, how they eat, and how their activities in their daily routines. So, Mr. Muklis, could you add some concerning issues for children regarding of the gadgets itself?
Thank you to the moderator for giving me this opportunity to share my thought. Although I think that these gadgets have bring along a lot of revolution to humans, we cannot overlook the side effect of it. Uh, on a psychological point of view, we can see that um, children that is still in the developing stage might have a few concerns that we need to observe, which is these gadgets have access to internet, and on the internet there are a lot of things that the children can access without restraint, and some of these things are not good for their health. Not to mention, the children will learn a lot of things such as violence in the world when they access this internet. I can, for example, there is a video game that promotes violence, but it's called GTA, and it's proof that and it proves that children may access these things indiscriminately and learn from it in a bad way, and they will adapt this into their life, making it a very concerned issue. And not to mention, because of the easy access to internet that these gadgets bring to children, the children may learn inappropriate things and something that may seen as unneeded. For example, this new generation called Gen Alpha are addicted to some of the most ridiculous things on the internet that we can see and we can observe. This is a concern to all of us regarding of what we stand for. Therefore, psychology issue in children make drive from their access to these gadgets. I think that is all from me.
Thank you, Mr. Muklis. Your point is quite right indeed. I can see that the gadget itself impacts on the children's mentally and physically in a negative way. Now let's move on. Miss Afrina, I would like to ask a question. In your opinion, at what age do you think children should be introduced to gadgets and why?
Well, for me, I think the good age kids should be exposed to gadget is 5 years old and above, because at the moment their brain skills will enhance because of their uh, thinking skills, as they need to meet new people. uh, they tend to follow the behavior that have been shown in videos that have inside the gadget itself, while the parents you the parents giving them a time to use gadgets with using the good example shows like Miss Rachel. Uh, well, for me, I think Miss Rachel is good show to kids, as she taught them a good behavior and good way how to greet people. So I think the good age to be exposed to gadget is 5 years old and above. But if parents want to expose them in a bit early, it's on them. Well, it is because every parents does not have time for their children, so maybe that's the way they cope or taught their children by using gadgets so that their kids can watch and learn from the internet using the gadgets itself. But parents also need to use their limit so that their kids won't get bad attitude if they're not in good time management. Uh, because kids tend to act way act bad if their their wishes are not being fulfilled. So, as a parent, we need to taught them by uh, do a limitation on using gadgets. That is all from me.
Thank you, Miss Afrina. That's a wise opinion. Mr. Fakr Aslam, do you agree that um gadgets should be introduced to children as early as 5 years old and above? What is your opinion about it? Does it give a negative side on the children itself?
Thank you, Miss Asma. But in my opinion, I think gadget for the gadget must introduce to children uh, when they are about 10 years old above, because if 5 years old and below, I think they still can know how to control the usage of gadget, and they still can understand if their parents told them uh, to do to don't do something, So for me, the good age to introduce the usage of gadget to our kids is 10 years old above, because this this age, um kids is more matured and can think bad or not. Yeah, so that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fakrul Aslam. As we wrap up, Mr. Irwan, I have a question for you. What advice could you give to parents out there who expose gadgets on their children, like in the early child age?
Thank you, Miss Asma. What a wonderful question. If you ask for my advice, like Aslam said before, the disadvantage of exposing gadget in a young age is they're getting addicted, right? So I think that their parents should play a main role by set a daily limit on the amount of time that of your children can play on the devices. Maybe 1 hour a day. Um, yeah, I think that's one. And then for another another one is another one is encourage quality content, because not all apps contain not all apps contain useful information. So parents should control on their children devices. Okay, I think that is for my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Irwan. Mr. Muklis, would you add would you love to add some point or some advice do you care to give to parents about the gadgets?
Thank you, Ms. Asma. I would like to say that the world is changing, and gadget has bring along this change in which we cannot ignore. Therefore, I hate to admit that it is crucial for children to learn how to use this gadget, as it is no longer an extra skill. It is a needed skill for them to live on and go out to the world to find work. But always keep in mind that uh, too much exposure as is as dangerous as too little exposure. Therefore, be mindful of what the children is doing with their gadgets, and always think for their best. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muklis. And I think that's all. Thank you to all panels for your opinion and your own suggestion to parents out there. As we've heard, gadgets can offer a range of benefits, but they also come with significant challenges. In conclusion, while gadgets can be powerful tools for education and connection, it's crucial for parents and guardians to control their gadgets' use on their children to prevent the addiction and the negative side of gadgets itself. Thank you again for sharing your thoughts. I think that's all for now. Thank you.
All right, thank
Thank you, Miss
you.
Asma, for having us.
Thank you,